We're earning our reputation one story at a time. Now, Barbara Sloan and J.D. Roberts, Channel 6 Action News.
Hello again, everyone.
J.D. Roberts and Giselle Fernandez, Channel 6 Action News.
Right now at Ross,
You get twice as much.
You guys are both wearing great-looking ties tonight, and it makes up for all the gloomy weather we've been having.
Yeah, most of the thunderstorms stayed inland today, and it looks like they'll be staying inland throughout the rest of the weekend. The sky shows produced by Mother Nature in South Florida come in the form of thunderstorms. Well, the closer you go to the North and South Poles, it's different, a different phenomenon. This incredible wonder is called the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. This rare footage was shot by the University of Alaska with a special super-sensitive camera. The Northern Lights form when energy particles from the sun mix with gases from the Earth's upper atmosphere. Wish we had something as pretty as that in South Florida. Dinner Key, that'll just have to do right now. Miami 87, the Beach 85, Kendall at last report 90, Fort Lauderdale last report 89, Key West 86. Water temperature 86, southeast winds at 8, humidity 61%. Pressure steady, 30.06. We were worried that Fran might give us some inclement weather here by the end of the week. There's Fran right now, just a tropical wave, not a tropical storm anymore, moving west at 20 through the Caribbean. Here's Miami. Put the maps in motion during the day today. Most of the clouds just came late in the afternoon over South Florida. Going to radar now. Look where the thunderstorms are. Mainly in Collier County on the radar. They're moving northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour, headed towards Fort Myers. If you're traveling over in that area in the next few hours, you will see a few heavy thunderstorms. Check the rest of the country. Typical summertime weather going on. This blob of clouds here as it raced through Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma produced as much as 5 inches of rain. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect through mid-evening in North and South Carolina as the remnants of a cold front start to sneak a little further south. It won't get here, though. Most of the tropical weather will stay to the south. Summer weather coast to coast tomorrow. Damp in Seattle. Temperatures there in the 70s. 70s in New England. 80s and 90s for the rest of the country. Traveling across Florida, 96 in Jacksonville, 95 Orlando tomorrow. Southeast coast and Keys, coolest with a few afternoon thunderstorms, more likely inland. Typically soupy tonight, 75 inland, 82 on the beaches. Tomorrow, brief morning rain along the coast, then sunny. Afternoon thunderstorms more likely inland, 92 inland, 89 on the beaches for a high. Southeast at 15 in the water, 2 to 3 foot seas. Bay water is moderate. Low tide at 11:55 tonight, sunset 7:55 tomorrow. Morning and afternoon rain showers through Saturday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday look mostly marvelous with mostly sunny days and inland and afternoon thunderstorms. We're coming upon the active part of the hurricane season. Stop by your next trip to pick up a sub at any Subway location. Pick up Maria Gennaro's Hurricane Tips. It'll help you get prepared for the active part of the hurricane season, which actually comes next month.
And hopefully we'll stay a long way away from here.
Hopefully, but we'll be keeping an eye on it right here.
All right, thanks, RJ. Topping Who's News this evening, will the weather cooperate?
Well, RJ is here right now. Let's ask him. Will it cooperate?
Yeah, I think so. If you get mainly away from the populated areas, head out towards the Everglades and hope that there's not one of those stray thunderstorms coming around. It should be all right.
Good.
All right. Now, there's been 6 tropical storms, 2 of which became hurricanes so far this hurricane season. We had Bertha and Diana, but none of which have threatened South Florida so far. The month of September is the most active 30-day period during hurricane season, but it was August 17th, 1969, when around midnight, Hurricane Camille made landfall with winds of 190 miles an hour near Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Powerful tornadoes also ripped through the area. What was left? Not much. Camille claimed 256 lives, caused $1.3 billion in damage. And as far as size is concerned, Camille was the second worst hurricane in U.S. history. To the current conditions now, Miami Beach earlier today, relatively nice. Miami now 87, the Beach 86, Kendall 88, Fort Lauderdale 87, Key West 88. Hurricane tips, you can pick yours up. Pamphlet from Channel 6 Action News weather forecaster Maria Gennaro, available at your favorite Subway location. Get prepared for the most active month of hurricane weather, which comes in 2 weeks, September.
Man, head out there tonight and look at Comet Levy.
Yeah, and forget about everything else.
I'll go to Coopertown and take a good look.
Sounds good.
Friday night.
Thank you, RJ. Donald Trump is also... Here he is, folks. Oh, Mr. Sunshine. Got to keep turning up the heat on us.
Are these little crow's feet starting to show?
Well, they're getting there.
The weekend's not looking bad. Typically tropical. We're not expecting any tropical weather to affect South Florida yet this weekend. But would you know what to do if a hurricane was coming to South Florida? Take a look at this graph we produced for you. This is the total number of tropical storms and hurricanes that have occurred over the past 100 years. We're in the middle of August right now. Look at September. That's the peak of the hurricane season. So next time you stop by your favorite Subway location to pick up a hoagie, pick up one of these, give you something to read, or a grinder, or whatever you want to call it. Give you something to read while you're munching on that Subway sub. Miami Beach right now, Miami 87. Then mostly inland thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with temperatures in the low 90s. At 6:30, pictures of what Hurricane Camille did 21 years ago today.
All right.
Those should be fascinating. Thanks, RJ. And there is still a lot more news ahead in the next half hour of Channel 6 Action News. Lots of rain out there. Forecast doesn't seem to change much.
There better not be any tomorrow afternoon. It's my last chance to play golf here.
That's right. You got to make sure you can do it.
There's going to be rain. Just wear rain gear, JD. I don't know what to tell you.
We have sure it snows in Harrisburg.
That's an inside joke. We'll tell you more about that later. There's a new tropical depression out there. Further strengthening is likely with tropical depression number 8. It could become a tropical storm later this evening or early tomorrow. If so, its name would be Gustav. We'll show you that in just a second. Right now, we'll show you the current conditions over South Florida. During normal high tide, residents on the coast are at a safe enough distance from the water. That changes when a hurricane approaches. 12 hours before the storm comes, the ocean level rises to a dangerous height. And when a hurricane makes landfall, most deaths are due to the surge of water at the center of the storm. This storm surge is sometimes 15 feet high and miles wide. That's why it's necessary to evacuate from the coastal areas.
Over and over again, people who've been interviewed after Hugo in South Carolina, the one thing they claim they would do differently is they would evacuate if they didn't. They would evacuate sooner if they did.
The Miami Daily News dated September 18th, 1926 said this: Miami Beach has been isolated from the mainland. It's feared a monster tidal wave swept across the entire island city. That tidal wave was the storm surge. 400 people died.
There's no place to hide from storm surge. If you're caught in storm surge, chances are you're going to drown. The way you avoid storm surge is you get out of the way, you evacuate.
If you live in an area and you're told to evacuate, don't take unnecessary chances.
If you're told to evacuate, at that point the experts have studied it. The experts think it's a good idea to evacuate. Goodness, you want to evacuate. There's just no reason you'd want to stay there.
A designated shelter should be used as a last resort. If you can, relocate away from the coast with friends or family well inland. But there'll still be high winds and heavy rain in those areas too.
It may make things miserable. That is, the water level may come up into your house, and you may have water in your house, and it may make a humongous mess, but it isn't really going to kill you.
We certainly do need to be aware of the fact that there could be a good deal of localized freshwater flooding, not storm surge flooding, but based on the amount of rainfall that comes along with a given storm and where that rainfall occurs within the county, we could see localized flooding, and people need to be prepared to respond to that. Move their furniture up, move themselves up if they need to. The bottom line, be prepared. It's no party. Listen to authorities and take precautions. The advice might save your life. RJ Heim, Channel 6 Action News. Let's go on a shopping trip to get the items you'll need to survive when a hurricane strikes. Items like canned goods that won't need refrigeration, canned fruit, dinners in a can, like beef ravioli, and canned tuna. This is the only kind of dairy product you should purchase when a hurricane's approaching. This will keep without refrigeration. Disposable spoons, forks, and knives are great to have. Not having to wash them will save precious water. Also, get paper cups and paper plates. And you won't want to forget this either. Make sure you have all the medicine and first aid supplies you think you might need. If you have a baby, disposable diapers will be necessary. So will a good 2-week supply of baby food and infant formula. If you're caring for an elderly person, these might be good just in case.